major changes in the ICE immigration crackdown, both nationally and here at home.
First, Border Czar Tom Homan announced federal ICE agents are pulling out of Minnesota after a months-long enforcement operation that saw 2 protesters shot and killed by federal agents. Here's what Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said today.
Minnesotans never wavered, and for that, I will be forever grateful.
The Trump administration today called ICE efforts in Minnesota successful and led to a drop in crime, claims local leaders say are not true.
Meanwhile, a federal judge here in Ohio is pushing back against the Trump administration, blocking its attempt to end temporary protected status for nearly 350,000 Haitian immigrants. About 15,000 of them live in Springfield near Dayton. And closer to home, the impact of immigration enforcement is being felt in Cuyahoga County, where County Executive Chris Ronayne says he is taking a wait-and-see approach.
I think this is a county that's at peace, and I hope it remains that way, and that we say to the state and federal government, leave us be. We're doing all right. We're getting along, and we're thriving together.
The city of Cleveland and Akron, the cities rather of Cleveland and Akron, have already adopted ICE resolutions against Ohio bills, any legislation supporting any ICE enforcement.
And East Cleveland leaders say they are ready for ICE by passing an emergency measure to protect families.
CNN New Yorker was there as Mayor Sandra Morgan broke it down.
Yes, this is the first of a kind local law where here in Ohio, making East Cleveland one of the few cities to enact local restrictions on how federal immigration agents operate its border.
Power of authority must always be
For months, local leaders all over Northeast Ohio have been bracing for ICE operations. And in response, cities like Cleveland have passed resolutions opposing legislation supporting ICE pending at the Statehouse. But the city of East Cleveland is currently the only Northeast Ohio city with its own ICE restrictive legislation. Mayor Sandra Morgan and East Cleveland City Council passed an emergency measure authorizing the policy known as GTFO, giving the families options. At her first town hall at the MLK Civic Center, her staff handed out these flyers.
We are not going to allow someone to come in and violate civil rights. We are not going to allow people to come in wearing masks and carrying big guns and be violent towards people in our community.
And Ken Myers, the city's law department director, explained how GTFO works.
We will not enable ICE. We will not cooperate with them. There's a lot of cities around the country that are actually forming partnerships, signing contracts with ICE to help ICE do its bidding.
Cuyahoga County Executive Chris Ronayne doubled down.
You know, the county sheriff's department is not immigration customs enforcement. They are the sheriff's department. Our jail does not contract with ICE detainees. We don't do it. That's done in other places, but not here. What I am is trying to welcome newcomers.
To be clear, local leaders tell 3 News there's been no indication of ICE, but they want people to be aware.
So please be vigilant. We're in a very precarious time, as you know, and they're not just picking on the quote-unquote worst of the worst. They're picking on citizens.
Well, some people have joked, you know, ICE will stay out of East Cleveland if they know what's good for them. You know, in some cases, our reputation precedes us, and it's okay, right?
This legislation is effective immediately and to date is the strongest ICE-focused local law in the region. Russ?
Okay, CNN New Yorker here in the studio. Thank you.
Thank you.